Natya Shastra, Chapter 2. On hearing Bharata's words, the sages said, "O the Holy One, we would like to hear about the ceremony relating to the stage, and how are the men of future to offer puja in the playhouse, or to know about the practices relating to it, or its accurate description. As the production of a drama begins with the playhouse, Natya Mandapa, you should first of all give us its description." 3 types of a playhouse. On hearing these words of the sages, Bharata said, "Listen, O sages, about the description of a playhouse, and of the puja to be offered in its connection. Creations of gods observed in houses and gardens are the outcome of their mere will, but men's creative activity should be carefully guided by rules laid down in the Shastras. Hence, listen about the method of building a playhouse and the manner of offering puja at the site of its construction. There are 3 types of playhouses devised by the wise Vishvakarma, the heavenly architect. In the treatise on his art, they are oblong, vrikshishta, square, chaturasra, and triangular, triyasra. 3 types of playhouses. Their sizes vary. They may be large, jyeshta, middle-sized, madhya, and small, avara. The length of these 3 types, fixed in terms of cubits as well as dandas, is 108, 64, or 32. They should respectively have sides 108, 64, and 32 cubits or dandas long. The large playhouse is meant for gods, and the middle-sized one for kings, while the rest of the people have been prescribed the smallest theatre. The table of measurement. Listen now about the measurement of all these theatres, which has been fixed by Vishvakarma. Units of these measurements are anu, raja, bala, liksha, yuka, yava, angula, 1 cubit, hasta, and danda. 8 anus equals 1 raja, 8 rajas equals 1 bala, 8 balas equals 1 liksha, 8 likshas equals 1 yuka, 8 yukas equals 1 yava, 8 yavas equals 1 angula, 24 angulas equals 1 hasta cubit, 4 cubits equals 1 danda. With the preceding table of measurement, I shall describe them, the different classes of playhouses. A playhouse for mortals. An oblong playhouse meant for mortals should be made 64 cubits in length and 32 cubits in breadth. Disadvantage of a too large playhouse. No one should build a playhouse bigger than the above, for a play produced in it will not be properly expressive, for anything recited or uttered in too big a playhouse will be losing euphony for the hearers, due to weak resonance of the sounds uttered. Besides this, when the playhouse is very big, the expression in the face of the actors, on which rests the representation of states and sentiments, will not be distinctly visible to all the spectators. Hence, it is desirable that playhouses should be of medium size, so that the recitation, as well as the songs in it, may be more easily heard by the spectators. Creation of gods observed in house and gardens are the outcome of their mere will, while men are to make careful efforts in their creation. Hence men should not try to rival the creation of gods. I shall now describe the characteristics of a playhouse suitable for human beings. Selection of a suitable site. The expert builder should first of all examine a plot of land and then proceed with a good resolve to measure the site of the building. A builder should erect a playhouse on the soil which is plain, firm, hard, and black or not white. It should first of all be cleared and then scratched with a plow, and then bones, pegs, pots, herds in it, as well as grass and shrubs growing in it, are to be removed. Measurement of the site. The ground being cleared, one should measure out. Under the asterism, pusha, chantri, he should spread for measurement a piece of white string, which may be made of cotton, wool, munja grass, or the bark of some tree. Taking up the string. Wise people should prepare for this purpose a string which is not liable to break. When the string is broken into 2 pieces, The patron of the dramatic spectacle will surely die. When it is broken into 3, a political disorder will occur in the land, and it being broken into 4 pieces, the master of the dramatic art will perish. While if the string slips out of the hand, some other kind of loss will be the result. Hence it is desired that the string should always be taken and held with great care. Besides this, the measurement of ground for the playhouse should be made carefully. And at a favorable moment, which occurs in a happy tithi during its good part, Shukarana, he should get the auspicious day declared after the Brahmins have been satisfied with gifts. Then we should spread the string after sprinkling on it the propitiating water, the ground plan of the playhouse. Afterwards, he should measure a plot of land 64 cubits long and divide the same lengthwise into 2 equal parts. The part which will be behind him at his back will have to be divided again into 2 equal halves. Of these halves, one behind him should be again divided equally into 2 parts, and on one of these will be made the stage, Ranga Shirsha, and on the part at the back, the tiring room, the ceremony of laying the foundation. Having divided the plot of land according to rules laid down before, he should lay in it the foundations of the playhouse. And during this ceremony of laying the foundation, all musical instruments, such as shankha, dunduri, mirdanga, and panava, should be sounded. And from the places of the ceremony, undesirable persons, such as heretics, including Shravanas, men in dark red kashaya robes, as well as men with physical defects, should be cast out. At night, offerings should be made in all 10 directions to various gods guarding them, and these offerings should consist of sweet scent, flowers, fruits, and eatables of various other kinds. The foodstuff offered in the 4 cardinal directions, east, west, south, and north, should be respectively be of white, blue, yellow, and red colors. Offerings preceded by the mutterings of mantras should be made in all 10 directions, according to the presiding deities. At the time of laying the foundation, ghee and pashaya should be offered to the Brahmins, manduparka to the king, and rice with molasses to masters of the dramatic art. The foundations should be laid during the auspicious part of a happy tithi under the asterism mula, lambda scorpionis. Raising pillars of the playhouse, Natya Mandapa. After it has been laid, walls should be built, and having been completed, pillars within the playhouse should be raised in an auspicious tithi and karana, which under a good astericism. The raising of pillars ought to be made under the asterism Rohini, Aldebaran, and Shravana, which are considered auspicious for this purpose. The masters of dramatic arts, after he has fasted for 3 days and 3 nights, is to raise the pillars in an auspicious moment at dawn. In the beginning, the ceremony in connection with the Brahman pillars should be performed with completely white articles, purified with ghee and mustard seed, and in this ceremony, pashasa should be distributed to the Brahmins. In the case of the Kshatriya pillar, the ceremony should be performed with cloth, garland, and unjit, which should all be of red color. And during the ceremony, rice mixed with molasses should be given to the twice-born caste. The Vaishya pillar should be raised in the northwestern direction of the playhouse, Natya Mandapa, and at the ceremony of its raising, completely yellow articles should be used, and Brahmins should be given rice with ghee. And in the case of the Shudra pillar, which is to be raised in the northeastern direction, articles offering should be all dark color, and the twice-born caste should be fed with krishara. First of all, in the case of the Brahman pillar, white garlands and unjit, as well as gold from an ear ornament, should be thrown at its foot, while copper, silver, and iron respectively to be thrown at the feet of the Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra pillars. Besides this, gold should be thrown at the feet of the rest of the pillars. The placings of pillars should be preceded by the display of garlands, green leaves, and the utterance of "Let it be well," svasti, and "Let this be an auspicious day," puryaha. After pleasing the Brahmins with considerable analpa, gifts of jewels, cows, and cloths, pillars should be raised in such manner that they do not neither move nor shake nor turn the ground. and the workers should be fed krishara and salt. After all these rules have been put into practice and all the musical instruments have been sounded, one should raise the pillars with a muttering over them of a suitable mantra which is as follows. Just as the Mount of Meru is immovable and the Himalaya is very strong, be thou immovable and bring victory to the king. Thus the expert should build up pillars, doors, walls, and the tiring room according to rules. The Matavarani. On each side of the stage should be built the Matavarani, and this should be furnished with 4 pillars and should be equal in length to the stage, and its plinth should be a cubit and a half high, and the plinth of the auditorium, Ranga Mandala, should be equal in height to that of the 2 Matavaranis. At the time of building them, the 2 Matavaranis, garlands, incense, sweet scents, clothes of different color, as well as offerings agreeable to Buddhas, should be offered to them. And to ensure the good condition of the pillars, one should give to the Brahmins payasya and other eatables such as krishara. The Matavarani should be built up after observing all these rules. The stage. Then one should construct the stage after a due performance of all acts prescribed by rules, and the stage should include 6 pieces of wood. The tiring room should be furnished with 2 doors, and filing up the ground marked on the stage, the black earth should be used with great care. This earth is to be made free from stone chips, gravel, and grass by use of a plow, to which are to be yoked 2 white draught animals. Those who will do plowing work should be free from physical defects of all kinds, and the earth should be carried in new baskets by persons free from defective limbs. Thus one should carefully construct the plinth of the stage, the Ranga Shirsha. It must not be convex like the back of a tortoise or that of a fish, for a stage on the ground which is as level as the surface of a mirror is commendable. Jewels and precious stones should be laid underneath this by expert builders. Diamond is to be put in the east, lapis lazuli in the south, quartz in the west, and coral in the north. In the center, gold. Decorative work in the stage. The plinth of the stage, having been constructed thus, one should start woodwork which is based on a carefully thought out uta pratyuha samyukta plan, with many artistic pieces such as decorative designs, carved figures of elephants, tigers, and snakes. Many wooden statues also should be set up there, and this woodwork should include niryuhas, variously placed mechanized latticed windows, rows, dharani, of good seats, numerous dovecots, and pillars raised in different parts of the floor, and the woodwork having been finished, the builders should set out to finish the walls. No pillar, bracket, window, corner, or door should face a door. The playhouse, Natya Mandapa, should be made like a mountain cavern, and it should have 2 floors on 2 different levels and small windows, and it should be free from wind and should have good acoustic quality. For in such a playhouse, made free from the interference of wind, voice actors and singers, as well as the sound of musical instruments, will acquire volume. The construction of walls being finished, they should be plastered and carefully whitewashed, and they should have been smeared with plaster and lime, made perfectly clean and beautifully plain. Painting should be executed on them. In this painting should be depicted creepers, men, women, and their amorous exploits. Thus, the architect should construct a playhouse of the oblong type. Description of the square playhouse. Now I shall speak of the characteristics of that of the square type. A plot of land 32 cubits in length and breadth is to be measured out in an auspicious moment, and on it the playhouse should be erected by experts in dramatic art. Rules, definitions, and propitiatory ceremonies mentioned before in case of a playhouse of the oblong type will also apply in case of that of the square type. It should be made perfectly square and divided into requisite parts by holding the string of measurement, and its outer walls should be made with strong bricks very thickly set together. And inside the stage and in proper directions, the architect should raise 10 pillars capable of supporting the roof. Outside the pillars, seats should be constructed in the form of a staircase by means of bricks and wood for the accommodation of the spectators. Successive rows of seats should be made 1 cubit higher than those preceding them, and the lowest row of seats being 1 cubit higher than the floor, and all these seats should overlook the stage. In the interior of the playhouse, 6 more strong pillars capable of supporting the roof should be raised in suitable positions and with proper ceremonies, i.e., with those mentioned before. And in addition to these, 8 more pillars should be raised by their side. Then, after raising for the stage or Arangapitta, a plinth, 8-cubit square more pillars should be raised to support the roof of the playhouse. These pillars should be fixed to the roof by proper fasteners and be decorated with figurines of woman with a tree. After all these have been made, one should carefully construct the tiring room. It should have 1 door leading to the stage, through which persons should enter with their face towards the spectators. There should also be a 2nd door facing the auditorium. The stage of the square playhouse should be 8 cubits in length and in breadth. It should be furnished with an elevated plinth with a plain surface, and its matavarini should be made according to the measurement described before, i.e., in case of the oblong type of playhouse, the matavarini should be made with 4 pillars by the side of the plinth mentioned above. The stage should be either more elevated than this plinth or equal to it in height. In a case of a playhouse of the oblong type, utkrishta, it should be higher than the stage, whereas in a playhouse of the square type, it should have a height equal to that of the stage. These are the rules according to which a square type playhouse is to be built. Description of a triangular playhouse. Now I shall speak about the characteristics of the triangular Triyasra type of playhouse, Natya Mandapa. By the builders, a playhouse with 3 corners should be built, and the stage in it also should be made triangular. In one corner of the playhouse, there should be a door, and on a 2nd door there should be made at the back of the stage. Rules regarding walls and pillars, which hold good in case of a playhouse of the square type, will be applicable in case of the triangular type. These are the rules according to which different types of playhouses are to be constructed by the learned. Next, I shall describe to you the puja in this connection.